Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are diving into a massive, absolute game changer of a paradigm shift in how we approach aesthetic wellness. We're finally moving away from this really outdated idea that beauty is just something you can go and buy in an operating room. Instead, we're looking at the biological reality of how our daily lives physically shape our appearance over time.
Exactly. This explainer completely challenges that reductive misconception that beauty is just some surgical quick fix. The reality we have to wake up to is this: beauty is not a destination, it's a discipline, it's a lifelong practice. We're talking about the deep biological foundation of your body and how you treat it every single day.
So here is our roadmap for today. First up, we'll redefine beauty as a discipline.
Number 2, the architecture of aesthetic wellness.
3, we'll unpack the 6 foundational pillars.
4, the client-practitioner partnership.
And finally, balance as the true ideal. Let's get into it.
All right, jumping right into Section 1, Beauty as a Discipline, where we're redefining aesthetic wellness.
Look at the old mindset for a second. We used to treat aesthetics like an isolated transactional event in a clinic. You go in, get something done, and leave. We are throwing that entirely out the window. What's absolutely crucial to understand here is that aesthetic wellness isn't a procedure you just check off a list. It's an ongoing, lifetime orientation towards yourself. The new mindset embraces the biological reality of long-term cellular maintenance. A procedure is just an intervention. It literally cannot substitute for the daily habits that build your cells.
Moving on to Section 2, the architecture of aesthetic wellness, preparing the canvas.
Think about classical architecture for a minute. A building's beauty doesn't come from the single column, right? It comes from all the elements working together in harmony. The human body is exactly the same. Facial harmony and skin luminosity are really just emergent properties of your lifestyle system.
And the clinical truth here is undeniable. Skin quality determines the final outcome. A surgeon's artistry is incredibly real, for sure, but it operates within a canvas that was prepared or damaged long before you ever step foot into a consultation room. If the skin is depleted by poor nutrition or dehydration, even the most technically perfect facelift is going to yield an inferior result.
Right. And we call that underlying cellular foundation your aesthetic canvas. It's entirely dictated by your lifestyle choices. True aesthetic care isn't a replacement for living well, it's more like a reset or a refinement of a foundation you've already nurtured. If you want the absolute best results, you've got to do the foundational work first.
Which brings us nicely to Section 3, the 6 foundational pillars, building your best self. Here's your high-level overview of the pillars. We've got sleep, nutrition, movement, stress, skincare, and mindset. Now, these aren't just trendy wellness buzzwords. These are the actual biochemical realities that dictate how you age. So let's break down the science behind every single one.
Pillar number 1 is sleep. It costs absolutely nothing, yet it is so profoundly undervalued. During deep sleep, your pituitary gland releases growth hormone. That hormone literally drives tissue repair, cellular regeneration, and collagen synthesis. It's basically free overnight anti-aging. Chronically poor sleep actually impairs the biological processes that keep your skin functioning, and that accelerates facial aging faster than almost anything else.
Pillar 2 is nutrition. Think about it, you cannot build a solid structure without good materials. Collagen, which is what gives your skin its firmness and volume, is synthesized from dietary amino acids, and it requires vitamin C to produce. A diet rich in high-quality protein from things like lean meats, legumes, and fish gives your body the literal raw materials it needs for ongoing collagen maintenance and post-procedure healing.
And we absolutely have to talk about oxidative stress. This is the accumulation of free radicals from the sun, pollution, and a poor diet, which aggressively drives cellular aging. But the good news? You can neutralize it. Vitamins A, C, and E, alongside polyphenols found in berries and dark leafy greens, actively protect your skin. This is exactly why the Mediterranean diet is consistently proven in clinical research to reduce systemic inflammation and deliver superior anti-aging outcomes. Next up, Pillar 3, movement. Regular exercise increases blood flow, delivering oxygen and nutrients straight to your skin while flushing out metabolic waste. But clinically speaking, movement is also incredibly vital for your lymphatic system, which doesn't have a pump of its own. Post-operative movement and lymphatic drainage are massive game changers for accelerating your recovery and reducing swelling after any aesthetic procedure.
Pillar 4 is stress. And let me tell you, chronic stress is deeply, deeply destructive to aesthetic preservation. Stress management isn't just some luxury spa day, it is a strict clinical imperative if you want to look and feel your most vital.
Exactly. And the main culprit here is cortisol. When your stress is high, cortisol is elevated. And what does it do? It actively degrades your collagen, impairs wound healing, and spikes systemic inflammation, which results in acne and accelerated wrinkling. So managing your stress and protecting your circadian rhythm aren't just feel-good tips, they are active daily interventions that literally slow down the aging process.
Pillar 5 is skincare. Think of this as the daily ritual of architectural preservation. An expensive procedure means absolutely nothing if you don't maintain the building. Let's be honest, you can entirely skip the $300 serums, because applying a broad-spectrum SPF 30 every single morning is the most powerful anti-aging intervention in existence, period. Combine that with retinoids and targeted actives, and you are building compounding returns over years.
And our final pillar, the one that brings the whole shebang together, is mindset. How you perceive yourself deeply shapes how you care for yourself. Patients who pursue aesthetic wellness from a place of self-respect rather than self-criticism actually achieve far better clinical outcomes and long-term satisfaction. Your internal dialogue absolutely matters.
Moving on to Section 4, the Client-Practitioner Partnership, beyond the operating theater. True aesthetic medicine goes way, way beyond the operating theater. It requires a profound, collaborative dynamic between you and your provider. And it begs a really important question. What is the practitioner's aesthetic responsibility? A truly great provider is part clinician, part artist, and part trusted counselor. They have to see the whole person in front of them, not just a grocery list of procedures.
The consultation is where your aesthetic lifestyle actually begins. A successful partnership aligns your expectations with achievable outcomes. It's about comprehensive facial analysis, yes, for sure, but it's also about addressing the psychological needs and beliefs you bring into the room. If a practitioner isn't talking to you about your sleep, hydration, and stress levels during a consult, they're honestly providing incomplete care.
And that brings us to our final section, balance, the true ideal.
The ultimate goal in aesthetic medicine, and frankly in life, isn't achieving some rigid, cookie-cutter template of perfection. It's about harmony. A life in balance is, all by itself, an aesthetic achievement. True beauty respects individual ethnic and gender variations. It avoids systemic compromise, meaning you don't chase one procedure at the expense of your overall health. The goal is to bring the elements of your face and your life into a rested, vital harmony. And here's the absolute most empowering takeaway you should keep from this explainer. Sustainable lifestyle habits are vastly more effective than any short-term trend. Every night of good sleep, every nutritious meal, every walk you take, these daily acts of self-care are available to everyone. You don't need a massive surgical budget to start building your aesthetic wellness. You can start right now, today. So we want to leave you with this final provocative thought. How will you start treating your beauty as a daily discipline rather than a distant destination? Remember, you are the architect of your own canvas. Take control of those daily routines, truly honor your body, and the aesthetic results will absolutely follow. Thank you so much for exploring this vital paradigm shift with us.